Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. Obviously, one of the big fights in 2023 everyone is looking forward to is the notorious Conor McGregor versus Iron Michael Chandler. Let me tell you guys why this fight might never happen and will most certainly not happen in 2023. Michael Chandler recently went on ESPN to give everyone an update on this Conor McGregor fight, and man, this is a perfect example of a sad, broken man that is clearly in denial. Michael Chandler sure as hell knows that Conor McGregor is not fighting in 2023, and Michael Chandler is starting to get really frustrated with this. Before I dive into the nitty-gritties of why Conor McGregor will not be fighting Michael Chandler this year and might never fight Michael Chandler, I see what Michael Chandler is doing, and it is very smart. Michael Chandler is making a last-ditch effort to try to motivate Conor McGregor in order to fight him. So what he's doing is he's poking the bear, and more importantly, he's poking the ego of Conor McGregor, basically by saying, hey, Conor, I'm absolutely going to pick you apart in there. I'm going to outclass you. Then I'm going to find the finish. Michael Chandler said in this recent ESPN interview that Conor McGregor has the ego the size of Texas, and that is very true. So again, Michael Chandler's really trying to poke the bear and add motivation so Conor McGregor ends up fighting him. But in my opinion, this simply is not going to work. First and foremost, and the first reason why Conor McGregor will not fight Michael Chandler this year, or maybe ever, is very clearly and very simply because of the USADA testing pool. We all know that you need to be in a USADA testing pool for at least 6 months before you fight in the UFC, and Conor McGregor has not been in the USADA testing pool yet. And Conor McGregor is a guy who his entire life is used to absolutely depleting his body to go down to 145 and then depleting his body to go down to 155. Then he snaps his leg in his last fight against Dustin Poirier, and now finally it is the first time really in Conor McGregor's life where he feels healthy, where he feels full, where he feels not depleted. So Conor McGregor, naturally a rich guy who feels really good in terms of his physical fitness and his physical being, he's not going to want to start cutting all that weight. He's not going to want to get off of those certain substances that are banned by the USADA testing pool. He doesn't want to feel like his old self anymore. I've got the satin sheets. I've got the silk sheets. I've got the Egyptian cotton duvets and pillows. I've got everything. This is a Conor McGregor quote from pretty recently, and this brings me to my second point. Conor McGregor is filthy rich. Let me read you guys another Conor McGregor quote from early on in his career. I didn't have money before this. I was collecting €188 a week off of the social welfare program. Conor McGregor was somebody growing up in Ireland who was absolutely dirt poor. He has a very famous quote. It's very long-winded, so I will not read it in this video, but he basically says, I'm Vincent Van Gogh. I've absolutely lost my mind in this game. I've gone mad over this game, and once I'm on top, once my woman has 7 cars for every single day of the week, once my kids are taken care of, then I've lost my mind and it'll be worth it. And Conor McGregor has hit the point where he is so filthy rich to the point where why fight? He doesn't need the money from fighting anymore. Conor McGregor recently just won $5 million in a lawsuit against Manny Pacquiao. He works with Burger King, Beats by Dre, and many other sponsorship deals. And of course, the main one is Proper 12 Irish Whiskey and his beer company that goes along with it. Conor McGregor is a guy with a net worth over $200 million. First and foremost, I think Conor McGregor did fight for the love of the game. I think Conor McGregor is still clearly extremely passionate about fighting. Every single time there is a banger that goes on in the UFC, Conor McGregor is either commentating about it, tweeting about it, or both. Conor McGregor is still a huge fight fan, make no mistake about it. But just as Conor McGregor is still a huge fight fan, doesn't mean he still has that passion to actually step back into the octagon. I think a good example of this is Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier clearly is retired, clearly is never going to fight again, but that doesn't mean he's lost his passion and love for the game. He's still involved in the game on a day-to-day basis. And I think when this tough season comes out, I think we still will see that passion in Conor McGregor. He loves coaching up guys, and he himself still loves fighting. He himself still loves sparring, but But again, it's too big of a sacrifice for Conor McGregor at this point. He's more concerned with his wealth and well-being than fighting. And to me, Conor McGregor, again, outside of the USADA testing pool, he just snapped his leg. He's at a huge, big frame. He's not even a welterweight. He would have to cut weight just to make welterweight. So you guys are trying to tell me a guy who has to cut weight for welterweight is going to cut all the way down to 155 to fight Michael Chandler, where Michael Chandler really still wants to contend for a title at 155? Which brings me into another significant point. Michael Chandler is 37 years old, guys. He's not a young guy. He's 37 years old, and he's only had 5 UFC fights. So this is a guy who still really has the time ticking and the clock ticking on his career in terms of, damn, I still haven't made nearly enough money in my career for being a 37-year-old star that I am in Michael Chandler. I completely get it. He was a big star for Bellator, but realistically, he wasn't making that much money fighting for Bellator. So in my opinion, if this fight doesn't get made by September, in my opinion, Michael Chandler is going to say, screw it, I got to move on to the next guy. I can't wait on the sideline for a year and a half, 2 years, just to fight Conor McGregor for one payday. I'd rather have 3 fights in that time period that's going to equivalent to the money that I had against Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler is a guy who's 2-3 in the UFC as well. He really wants this Conor McGregor fight, and he's clearly very willing to wait around for this fight, as he's already waited a significant amount of time since his last fight. But the thing is, he's beaten Dan Hooker and a washed Tony Ferguson in the UFC. He still doesn't have that great of a UFC win. In my opinion, he's going to start the weigh the negatives and the positives and say, yes, will beating Conor McGregor do great things for my bank account and for my legacy? Yes, but I don't even think Conor McGregor is ever even going to fight me. I need to start moving on with my legacy and with my bank account. In the last point of the video, and why I really don't think Conor McGregor will ever end up fighting Michael Chandler, he's doing a million side quests right now, guys. Conor McGregor is literally publicly intoxicated on a weekly basis, it seems like. He's doing these crazy things with BKFC. He's facing off in the ring against Mike Perry. He's flirting with these WWE superstars, beefing with these WWE guys, beefing with these boxers, flirting with the idea of boxing. He's all over the place, guys. His mind is on every single thing on earth except training for Michael Chandler. And Conor McGregor is not a stupid guy. Conor McGregor knows that Michael Chandler is a guy he needs to methodically train for months on end in order to beat him. If Conor McGregor hopped into the Michael Chandler fight underprepared, he's going to get absolutely smoked by Michael Chandler's blast double leg and huge overhand right, even though Conor McGregor on paper obviously does have the clear skill advantage on the feet. Thanks for listening, guys. This is obviously one of those predictions where I hope I am dead wrong. My official prediction, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up fighting at some point, but I strongly believe that Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor are not fighting in 2023. Again, thanks for listening, guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? When do you think Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler will end up fighting, if ever?